I thought those little Apple AirTags were just harmless gadgets, until one night, one of them started moving on its own. Before we begin, please tell me in the comments, what city are you watching from? I might have a terrifying story that happened near you, and if you enjoy true horror stories, make sure to subscribe. Hit the bell icon, and like this video, because the ending of this one will seriously shock you. I've always been overly cautious when it comes to safety. Maybe it's because I live alone, or maybe because I've had a few close calls before, a break-in attempt, a stranger following me home, the usual urban paranoia. So, when I heard about Apple AirTags, I thought they were brilliant. I put one in my car, one on my keys, and one in my backpack. Never once did I imagine that one of those tiny devices would become the center of the most horrifying experience of my life. It started on a Thursday evening last December. I had gone to the grocery store after work. It was already dark outside. One of those early winter nights where the air feels heavy and silent. I remember walking out of the store, juggling bags and fumbling for my car keys when my iPhone buzzed. AirTag detected near you. At first, I didn't think much of it. I figured maybe someone nearby had one in their purse or something. But as I loaded my groceries into the trunk, the notification stayed. I tapped it, and my phone showed a small map. A pulsing dot followed me, precisely where I was standing. That cold ripple of unease ran down my spine. I knew how AirTags worked. They were designed to help people find things, not follow people. I checked my pockets, my bag, nothing. Then, as I moved around to the driver's side door, the notification updated again. This AirTag has been moving with you for a while. I froze, my breath fogged in the air. The parking lot was mostly empty now, just a few cars scattered beneath the flickering yellow lamps. I tried to think logically. Maybe someone accidentally dropped their AirTag in my cart, or maybe one of the store employees had one nearby. But as I stood there, another line appeared on my screen. Last seen near you, 3 minutes ago. I felt my heart start to hammer. I quickly scanned the ground, crouched down and looked under my car, and there, wedged behind the rear wheel, was a small, round white disc, an AirTag. I stared at it for a second, not quite processing what I was seeing. Someone had attached it to my car. I grabbed it with trembling fingers and shoved it into my pocket, then jumped into my car and locked the doors. My mind was racing. Who would do this? Was someone trying to steal my car? Or was someone tracking me? The drive home was a blur. I kept glancing in the mirror, half expecting headlights to follow me. Every car behind me made my pulse spike. By the time I pulled into my driveway, I was shaking. Inside, I went straight to the kitchen and put the AirTag on the counter. It just sat there, this small, harmless-looking circle of plastic and metal. I opened to find my app and tried to see the owner's information, but of course, it was anonymous. Whoever placed it there had their details hidden. That night, I couldn't sleep. Every sound outside made me flinch. Around 2 a.m., I got another notification. The same one. AirTag detected near you. My blood went cold. I got up, turned on every light in the house, and checked every window, every door, even under my bed. Nothing. The AirTag was still on the counter, motionless, but my phone insisted. Someone's AirTag is moving with you. I turned off my Wi-Fi, restarted the phone, and still. The alert returned. It felt like a cruel joke. I grabbed the AirTag, walked out into my backyard, and threw it as far as I could into the snow-covered trees behind the fence. I remember watching the small white shape disappear into the dark, thinking that was the end of it. But the next morning, when I walked to my car, there was another AirTag under the driver's side door. I remember my knees going weak. I pulled it off, staring around the street in disbelief. There weren't many people out, just the usual. An old man walking his dog, a car passing by. Nothing unusual, but someone out there had been close enough to touch my car again. I called the police that day. The officer who came was polite but dismissive. He took the AirTag, filled out a report, and said there wasn't much they could do unless I had proof someone was following me. Could be a prank, he said. A prank. That night, I parked my car inside the garage and checked the locks twice. I even installed a small security camera near the driveway just in case. Then, around midnight, as I sat in my living room, trying to calm down, my phone buzzed again. This time, it wasn't just a notification. It was a sound. That faint, high-pitched beep Airtags make when you try to locate them. It was coming from inside my house. I froze, my heart slamming against my ribs. Slowly, I stood up and followed the sound. It was faint, but I could hear it. A soft chirp, repeating every few seconds. It led me to the hallway near my bedroom. I turned off the lights and waited, holding my breath. Then it beeped again. This time closer. I flipped on the light and saw it. A small, white Airtag, sitting on the floor just outside my bedroom door. I hadn't seen it before. Ikanoit. Hadn't he been there earlier? Someone had been inside my house. I didn't scream. I didn't even move at first. I just stared at that tiny white disc on the carpet, my mind blank except for one horrifying realization. Someone had entered my locked home and planted it there. My body finally caught up to my fear. I backed away slowly, my legs weak and trembling. The air felt thicker, like the walls themselves were closing in on me. I grabbed a kitchen knife and my phone, dialing 911 with shaking fingers. The dispatcher's calm voice was the only thing keeping me from losing it completely. She told me to stay on the line and to wait outside until officers arrived. But stepping outside was the last thing I wanted to do. If someone had been inside my house, what if they were still there? I could feel eyes on me. I didn't know from where, but that animal instinct in my gut was screaming run. So I did. I bolted out the back door, clutching my phone. The freezing air hit me like a wall. I stood there in my backyard, breath clouding in front of me, staring at the dark line of trees behind the fence. Every rustle sounded like footsteps. Every shadow looked like a person. The police arrived within minutes. 2 cruisers pulling up with flashing blue lights that painted my quiet street in eerie color. Primera ra. Eneto. Them barely able to explain through my panic. They searched the house thoroughly, basement, attic, every corner. Nothing. No signs of forced entry. No fingerprints on the air. One of the officers, a tall guy with tired eyes, sighed as he bagged the device. "Whoever's doing this knows what they're doing," he said. "These things are cheap, anonymous, and easy to hide. You can track someone for days before they even notice." That night, I didn't go back inside. I packed a small bag and drove to my sister's house across town. I didn't tell her everything, just that I was being stalked. She thought I was overreacting, but she let me stay in her guest room. For a few days, everything seemed normal. I didn't get any notifications, and I started to think maybe it was over. Maybe whoever was doing this got scared off when the cops got involved. Then, on the 4th night, around 3 a.m., I woke up to the faint ding of my phone. My stomach dropped before I even looked. "Airtag, detected near you." My blood ran cold. I sat up slowly, the room completely dark except for the dim glow of my phone screen. I tapped the notification. The map showed a blue dot me and a red one, the Airtag. They were practically overlapping. I looked around the room, barely breathing. My bag was on the floor next to the bed. My coat hung on the chair. I tore through everything. Pockets, lining, shoes, nothing, but the notification stayed. Primera turned on to play sound option, and the faint chirping started again. It wasn't in my room. It was downstairs. I crept to the door and listened. Silence. Then the creak of the wooden floorboards below. Someone was in the house. Primera ba, sked Hawaii. Trying not to make a sound, I texted my sister. "Call 911. Someone's here." A few seconds later, I heard its slow, deliberate footsteps moving through the living room. Then, a faint metallic sound, like something being set down on a table. My heart was beating so loud I was sure they could hear it. I crouched in the corner of the room, clutching my phone like a lifeline, listening. The sound of movement stopped. Then I heard a single, quiet beep. The air, and then a voice. Low. Come. Mail. You shouldn't have thrown it away. I felt a scream rise in my throat, but it got stuck halfway out. I stayed frozen, not daring to move. The floor creaked again, closer this time. Then, just as suddenly, the sound stopped. I waited 10 seconds, 30, maybe a full minute. Then sirens. I ran to the window and saw flashing lights pull up in front of the house. I didn't even think. I threw the door open and ran downstairs. The living room was empty. The front door was ajar, cold air pouring in. The police swarmed inside, checking every room. The officer who'd been to my place before recognized me instantly. He found the Airtag sitting right on the kitchen counter. And next to it, a single Polaroid photo. It was me. Standing at the grocery store parking lot. From that first night, I remember my hands shaking so badly I could barely hold the picture. It wasn't just that someone had been watching me, it was how close they'd been. They were right there. The cops took the evidence, promised to escalate it to detectives, and told me not to stay alone for a while. But even after that, the paranoia didn't fade. I started noticing little things. The same black sedan parked across the street from my sister's house for days. The feeling that someone was behind me when I walked to my car. Random Airtag notifications popping up again and again, even when I switched phones. It got to the point where I couldn't sleep. I'd lie awake, staring at the ceiling, every creak making my skin crawl. Then, one evening, my sister came into the living room holding her phone. "Hey," she said, trying to sound casual. "I just got a weird notification. Says on Airtags. Been following me." That's when I realized it wasn't just me anymore. Whoever was doing this wasn't stopping. They'd moved on to the people close to me. We went straight to the police again, but it was the same story. No owner information, no way to trace it. They told us to reset our phones, disable Bluetooth, even by special tracker scanners. Nothing helped. Every time I tried to leave the house, that same notification would appear within minutes. An AirTag has been detected near you. Each time it felt like a silent taunt, a reminder that no matter where I went, someone was always watching. Then one night, as I sat in my car outside a 24-hour diner trying to calm down, I got another ping. I opened the app and saw not one, but 3 AirTags moving with me. 3 AirTags, 3 separate signals, all moving with me. I remember staring at the screen, the red dots blinking in sync with my heartbeat. One inside the car, one just outside of it, and one that looked like it was right behind me. Ispoon herund eyes, darting across the parking lot. It was empty except for a few cars and the soft glow of the diner's neon sign reflecting on the wet pavement. But in that moment, I felt sure someone was watching me. I locked the doors, started the engine, and drove no destination, no plan, just away. The map on my phone shifted as I moved, and the dots followed. No matter where I turned, they stayed close. At one point I pulled over and turned off my headlights, trying to see if anyone would pass me. I waited in the darkness, gripping the steering wheel so tightly that my hands ached. For 10 minutes, nothing happened. Then, a pair of headlights appeared in the distance. A black sedan, moving slowly down the road. It drove past me once, then it circled back. That's when I floored it. The AirTag signals stayed locked onto me the entire time. I drove 4 miles, through back roads and empty intersections, until I finally reached the outskirts of town and parked in a deserted gas station. My phone was still pinging, my chest tight from panic. I tore apart my car, checking every inch under the seats, behind the dashboard panels, even inside the trunk lining. Finally, I found one wedged inside the rear headrest, another one taped underneath the passenger seat. But the third wasn't in the car. The app said it was still nearby. I stepped out into the freezing air, scanning the shadows around me. The wind howled through the open lot, rattling the old metal sign above the pumps. My phone's screen flickered, showing the red dot pulsing just a few meters away, moving slowly, like someone walking. That's when I heard it. a faint crunch of gravel behind me. I turned, expecting to see someone, but there was nothing. Just the dark road and the sound of the wind. Still, the sense of being watched was overwhelming. I called 911 again, but as I spoke, the call glitched static, distortion, like interference. The operator's voice cut in and out. "Sir, stay where?" "Officers." Then silence. I looked back at my phone screen. The red dot had stopped moving. It was right next to mine. Before I could react, the faint chirp of the Airtag beeped from somewhere behind me. I spun around my flashlight, cutting through the dark, and there it was. A figure. Tall, wearing a hood, standing just beyond the light. Their face hidden in shadow. They didn't move, didn't speak. Just stood there, motionless, watching me. "Who are you?" I shouted. My voice cracked. The only answer was the wind and the faint beep of the Airtag again. This time from inside my jacket pocket. "Primera fros? Eh. I reached in and pulled it out. It wasn't one of mine. Someone had slipped it into my coat. By the time I looked up again, the figure was gone. The police found me 20 minutes later. Parked at the gas station, still clutching that Airtag in my hand. They searched the area but found nothing. No footprints, no Tita tracks, nothing on the cameras. 4 days after, I couldn't function. I barely ate or slept. Every sound made me jump. I ended up moving in with a friend for a while, thinking maybe if I disappeared from my usual routine, they'd lose interest. But the feeling of being followed never left. A few weeks later, a detective called. He said they'd found something strange. Apparently, multiple Airtags registered under different serial numbers had been connecting to the same iCloud account. One registered under a fake name, using a prepaid card. They couldn't trace it. Then he said something that made my skin crawl. Each Airtag's history showed specific locations visited. All of them matched places I'd been. The grocery store, my house, my sister's, even that 24-hour diner. But there was one more location on the list. A place I didn't recognize, an abandoned storage facility on the edge of town. He told me not to go there, but of course, I couldn't stop thinking about it. A few nights later, I drove out there anyway. The building was massive, with rows of rusted doors and broken lights. My flashlight barely cut through the darkness as I walked down the empty corridor, my breath echoing, and then I heard that sound again. That faint, rhythmic beep. It was coming from one of the units. I followed it to a half-open door and pushed it aside. Inside, the room was lined with photos. Hundreds of them pictures of me. At work, at home. Sitting in my car, walking down the street. Every single one taken from a distance, over months. On the table in the middle was a small box, filled with her. Some new, some cracked, all labeled with dates and places. Then I noticed something else. A single Polaroid at the top of the pile. Not of me, but of my sister. Taken through her bedroom window. I ran out of there so fast I almost crashed the car. The police came back with a warrant. But when they arrived, the storage unit was empty. The photos, the Airtags, all gone. To this day, they've never found whoever was behind it. But sometimes, when I walk to my car, I still get that notification. An Airtag has been detected near you. It happens less now, but often enough that I know it's not random. I've replaced my phone twice, changed my number, even stopped using Bluetooth altogether. But somehow, they always find me. And sometimes, when I lie awake at night, I can still hear that faint beep, like it's waiting. If you made it this far, tell me in the comments, what would you do if you found out someone was secretly tracking you with an Air? Don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and turn on the bell, because the next story might make you check your car before you ever drive again.